Welcome back. Many thanks for staying with us here on the Morning Rush. Of course, we're live on Facebook at Metro TV Ghana and also on DSTV channel 277. We're getting into our conversation this morning. We're talking literacy education. I've been joined by a gentleman and a lady. Jude Kweju Agri is the president for a Literacy Impact Program, and also here with me is Princess Erwina Indom, who is co-founder and CEO of the same organization. And as I mentioned, we're talking literacy education, what to know they're working on, and all of that. So let's get into it. Good morning and welcome. Good morning. How's your weekend?
It was a bit hectic, but it went well.
It was great for me.
Great?
Yeah.
Oh, for your face, like this. Anyway, now let's talk about your organization and what you're doing, especially for people who are watching and do not understand what you do. If you could just give us a brief overview of what you do, and then we'll get into all the other details. Right. So, President CEO, who's going to take that?
Okay, so I can go first. So we are Literacy Impact Program, and we are a youth-led non-governmental organization focused on enhancing the literacy skills of students in underprivileged communities. And so mainly what we use is using creative learning to enhance the educational needs.
Okay, yeah. That's cool. And how long have you been doing this?
Since 2019.
2019?
Yes. So
that would be 4 years?
4 years, yeah.
It's been a good journey?
Yes, it has been.
Okay.
It has been. So what we do is we have our teaching activities.
Okay.
We currently undertake at the Madina Zongo community. Okay. We also have a mentorship program where we have young people reach out to students in underprivileged communities to offer different forms of mentorship. And then we also have the Brighter by a Book project where we donate books to schools in underprivileged communities.
Okay, that's great. Mr. President, there are lots of things that we could talk about in our society, but why did you choose literacy education?
I think literacy education is important for the growth of young people in our country. When you reflect on the opportunities you've had going to school and the access to exposure and the various opportunities which have helped us to grow to be where we are today, and you compare it to what a majority of Ghanaian children have, you realize that there's actually a pretty huge gap. And so looking at it and seeing the potential and the power that literacy has on young people, we thought, what better way to impact young people than through literacy? Because that's basically the best foundation you can give to someone. Give them an education, something that will guide them for the future so that they can follow on to make something meaningful of their life. So that's the reason.
Great. I'd want us to share experiences. I mean, because we are helping young people in schools like that. Growing up, for both of you, how was it like? With respect to literacy education, reading, getting exposed to some of these things. I'm not sure any of you went to Saito, or you went to Saito.
Oh, at some point.
At some point. How was it like, and how has it impacted your journey towards helping others in that same space?
All right, thank you. So for me, I think literacy really gave me the opportunity to find my voice, as people would say, especially in the field of debate and public speaking, because it was through literacy that I got exposed to that through high school, university, and the number of opportunities that opened up for me are just incredible. They've been life-changing, and they've really been impactful. So I'm thinking I shouldn't be the only one to benefit from this. I would love to see other Ghanaian children have the opportunity to get exposure. It doesn't necessarily have to be in debate and public speaking, because everybody has their strengths and interests. So it could be in science, it could be in arts, it could be in creative arts, different fields. So seeing what literacy has done for me and for friends like Princess and other people, I'd love to see it happen for others as well.
Okay, Princess, yourself?
So likewise, growing up at a very early age, I discovered I loved writing. And so during essay compositions in school, I would go for the narration and storytelling. And luckily, I came from a home where my parents are always encouraging me. So I've been writing for so long. So I realized that, writing can also be a good instrument in helping children to better their skills when it comes to education. And that's why we started Literacy Impact Program, to give young people the opportunity to tell their stories and in different ways of storytelling. Yeah.
Great. So I'm just thinking, is it just about English, or it is about the language that anybody would be comfortable in to relate to people?
So our focus is primarily literacy education using creative learning. So through the creative learning, you are building on your writing skills, your comprehension skills, your retention skills, as well as your public speaking. And as well, I mentioned early on that we use creative learning as well. So we could use singing, we could use dancing, we could use painting to help these kids to better their literacy skills.
So that's what I'm asking. Is it just in English? Or
primarily in English. And there are times where we make the children use their local dialects in teaching them a particular subject, like just in English, but for them to really understand. So for instance, there's a boy that he's a Nodna, and so we give the opportunity to rap. And so he matches all the songs, like for example, songs from Shatawale, Sako, the Stone Boy, and he measures it in his local dialect and raps in class. And that also builds his confidence and even encourages the other students to use their skills.
And I brought that in, Jude, because there have been lots of concerns that, we're talking, I mean, on social media, you read people say that, you know, young kids of today just speak English, won't come fancy, the guy I can speak up, but like, you know, the local dialects, it's not something that we're encouraging young people to be doing, and the result of that is we are losing that. But that's why I asked that even as you're teaching people to be, you know, literacy inclined, I don't know if that's the right word to use, you are doing that also for them not to lose their mother tongue. And I love the bit about the rap and, you know, all of those things in their local dialects. But what are some of the challenges that you have faced as a team going out there and trying to help these young people?
I think from an organization perspective, I think one of the major challenges we face, especially when it comes to the weekend teaching sessions we have, is actually getting a conducive space. Right now, and thankfully, we've been able to establish a good relationship with a number of families in the Madina Zongo community. And one of them has been so kind as to give us a portion of their home, which is like an uncompleted building. It doesn't really have a ceiling or a roofing. So whenever it rains, classes don't happen or it's interrupted. So that's the major challenge from that perspective. I'm sure Princess can share anything further, especially when it comes to the technical side of teaching.
Princess?
I also look at the children. So because we are focused on underprivileged communities, majority of these children are not confident in themselves. Majority of these children have a particular school they want to go to because they've seen other people in the neighborhood go to such schools. And that's how come we started a mentorship program. Because you have to consistently tell them you can make it. Sometimes even have to sit on the floor with them for them to see they can identify with you. So if you tell them I wasn't good at maths, then they feel like, okay, you're also not good at maths, so I can be good at maths. So it's also with our children, with their self-confidence, and it's sometimes challenging, but it's getting better with time.
Great. And that was, I was coming to, you know, asking about the families and these kids that you're teaching, the relation between yourself, your families, and even the kids themselves, so that they know that, you are also family to them. And so whatever you're teaching them, I mean, they absorb that. And why Madina Zongo though?
So initially we wanted to start at Choco. That was our basis for our research to understand the importance of literacy and how we can deal with these children. But then we realized that we couldn't start with Choco, and most of us live close by Madina, Denta, and all that. So we decided to why not we start in the community there. Okay, great. So the classes happen every weekend? Yes, every weekend. Yeah. Okay. And you have the kids coming through from various homes? Various homes, yes, together. How many number, averagely? Averagely, we are looking at 30. So there are four classes. So we have the prime rose, the between 4 to 6 years. Then we have the hibiscus around 7 to about 9 years. And then we have the tulip, that's the Jude's class. Some of them are JHS. Then we have the ones who are not very good academically, they have strong challenge when it comes to reading. So for them, you can even have somebody as old as 15 years in that particular class. So we have like special attention given to them. But how are you finding all of this? If you're taking, even the schools that we have, sometimes they say books no day, teachers no day to even do all of this. And I mean, as an organization, you're doing this. How are you finding it, President?
So especially when it comes to our weekend teaching sessions and being able to get materials. And we also try and give them some snacks because there's also an incentive for attracting them. I mean,
item 30
if you're dealing,
important.
item 30 is very important. So it usually comes from our own pockets mainly, because we're made up of young people who are just young and starting out their professional careers and everything. So it comes from our own pockets, and thankfully, from time to time, we get support from individuals, from friends, family, and a few organizations who have also helped us, even with some of our projects, like the BAR projects, which we'll be talking about soon. So that's mainly where our funding comes from. We've tried applying for grants, but for some of them, you need to have a certain number of years of experience. Thankfully, we're getting there, because right now we're almost 4 years. So thankfully, we'll be eligible to apply for a couple more.
Okay, that's great. Well, we just tuning in, you're watching The Morning Rush, and we're having a discussion on that is a literacy impact program. That's the organization, and it's literacy education. They're doing some amazing work in Medina Zongo, and we'll get into a project that they call a BAB project. BAB.
BAB.
Yeah.
Bob?
Yeah. Oh, BAB. tell us about it.
All right. So the BAB project was started in 2021.
Okay.
And what really inspired us to start it was that with our experience of going to different schools, we realized that quite a lot of them don't have libraries, or even with those that have libraries, there's hardly any books in there. So we thought, what's a good way of getting books to provide and really shape up these libraries so that at least the kids have a lot of knowledge banks to rely on. So we thought of starting a campaign to reach out to the general public to ask for books. So we reached out through social media, reached out to media houses to publish our articles, spoke to friends, families, reached out to organizations, telling them that, hey, if you have any old or new books, writing materials, learning materials, or you can donate some money, we want to get books for a number of target schools and present it to them, and also build a relationship with those schools to sort of start a reading club so that we can help inculcate that habit of reading, because every reader is definitely most likely going to be a leader. So in 2021, we started with 2 schools in Choco and 1 school in Medina Zongo, and we're able to raise over 1,000 books, about 1,090 books from the public, and donate a few other items. In 2022, just last year, we donated to 3 schools, Medina Cluster of Schools and one other school called Grace Baptist School. We raised over 2,000 books. Yes. So thankfully, in the past 2 years, we've been able to impact close to 2,290 children across the 6 schools. And the total number of books we've raised are 3,987, all through the kind donations and support of the general public, and also from individuals, friends, families, and organizations such as the U.S. Embassy Ghana, the Young Educators Foundation. Those are the organizers of the Spelling Bee, as you know, and the Young Debaters, Change Ghana, and the Young Ruler magazine. So we'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for their support over the 2 years. And this year in 2023, we're not staying in Accra. We're going to Eastern Region. We're going to the Kwekuteria MA School in a village called Akotuche in the Eastern Region, which we identified through the support of our network. We visited there on 17th March of this year, and we realized that their needs are much bigger than the previous schools we've helped. For them, they don't just need books. I mean, they don't even have a cupboard to keep their books. The building isn't painted. One of the teachers' rooms or staff rooms had to be converted into a classroom because there's really no space. Their uniforms are in bad shape. They need school bags. There's a whole lot of need there. So we're reaching out to organizations for even first aid equipment, for books, writing materials, learning materials, various kinds of stationery, uniform materials, school bags, anything really. And we also have our Momo number there to receive any monetary donations so that we can even get more new books or more new items to donate to this school. And this donation, we're aiming for 15th of September this year. Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. I mean, lots of things are centered in Accra. You know, outside Accra, a lot of help is needed there. So after this project 2023, what's the target to the end of the year, and what else should we be expecting from the organization?
So currently, we are running a project in partnership with the Ghana Education Service of the Lankwansanai Municipal Assembly and Speech Forces Ghana, and that is still using creative learning to enhance the literacy and public speaking skills of students. And so we are currently undertaking that project. And with our mentorship program as well, we are looking at expanding to other communities and also keep updated. We'll keep you updated of other subsequent programs coming up.
All right. As we wrap up, how can people reach your social media websites, anything like that?
Okay. So on Facebook, we are Literacy Impact Program. On Twitter, we are lip_project. On Instagram, we are _lip_project. Yeah. And if anyone wants to support in kind or cash, you can contact Jude. Jude might want to give out his number.
All right. So my number is 0263 975917, and we also have our Momo number, which Princess would
so
give.
our Momo number is 024 54 67150.
Okay, so there you have it. Do well to follow them on all of these platforms and support a good cause. But this what you do. In recent weeks, we have a lot of books coming out. How do you feel about it? That and there's from Yvonne Nelson to Aditya and even yesterday I heard that the wife of from Captain Mahama, the late Captain Mahama, has also written a book about being a widow. This is like something nice, right? As people who are interested in literacy, you're happy that Ghanaians are reading. Have you read it yet?
I've not yet read, but I'm also happy about what people are doing now. I mean, in the Ghanaian society, it's always heard that most people do not like reading. But I also believe in the power of storytelling and where these individuals are telling their stories in diverse ways. Definitely, someone can resonate with it, somebody can get inspired from it, somebody can also take that action and say, let me also share my story with other young people. So I support what they are doing. It's good in their sense, and it's also going to help other people. So we cannot judge who writes better or not. I mean, it's their story. Let them tell it as it is.
Are enjoying it and are reading.
Yes.
Are you Jude? Okay, Jude Kwejiagri, thank you so much for coming. And
Thank you,
Princess Edwina Ndom.
Yes.
President and also co-founder and CEO of the LIP, that is Literacy Impact Program, joining me this morning to have this conversation.